What's going on, guys? So today's video is going to be a bit heavier than normal for a Naruto topic, but it's one that I do feel we do need to discuss given the last Boruto anime episode and the last Boruto manga chapter because they go hand in hand. So for the sake of anime only fans, I'm not going to be diving into a major manga spoiler here, so this video is going to be safe for you. However, I am going to refer to stuff that only manga readers will be able to understand. So with that being said though, let's go ahead and dive into this very serious topic. So Boruto as a story has taken the ethical questions that the Naruto manga put right in our faces and it's taken them to a completely different level by making them more modern, which is the intention of Masashi Kishimoto, something that he has stated back in 2016 when talking about the Boruto manga. In Naruto, there was a bit of a fantastical element to the moral lines that are being crossed, even though it was still grounded in some form of reality to a certain extent. We saw Orochimaru cutting up people, including small children, and we saw this in the manga. We saw him placing cursed seals on children, knowing that they would likely die, as shown when he gave the cursed seal to Anko, and we literally saw him wipe out an entire clan in the Ibiri clan for the sake of science, and he also did so twice in the Naruto anime, the second time being when Orochimaru went to a whole island and was implied to have hunted down the people there. That way he could do experiments on making the ultimate shinobi that could breathe underwater. However, the Boruto era has used Jigen and Amado in a way that is arguably a lot darker than anything Orochimaru's done. Even with the experiments that he's done via cloning, via the Shin clones, and his own son Mitsuki, who has a seal over his heart to prevent Orochimaru's research from getting into the wrong hands, as well as Orochimaru having the option to wipe away Mitsuki's memories. With the last Boruto episode and the last Boruto manga chapter, we see very clearly the child trafficking that's going on, but this isn't your standard child trafficking. This is child trafficking done of the worst kind when you look at it, because it is specifically meant for young bodies to be sent off, sold, used, and altered. Now, Naruto as a franchise has always dabbled in this concept, but it wasn't as in your face. Jigen was specifically having children from poor areas like the Hidden Rain Village and areas like Kawaki's village that were still recovering from the Fourth Great Ninja War, and he was having children from these areas sold to the Kara organization. Their bodies were being taken and they're either being subjected to having the karma seal placed onto them, with all of the children dying with the exception of two, one of them obviously being Kawaki. But the idea that science has progressed to this point under Naruto's run as Hokage is both alarming as well as very symbolic. It's alarming in the sense that Naruto truly believes that science can be used like chakra was supposed to be used via ninshu in order to bring people closer together. However, just as chakra is weaponized, so too has science been weaponized. This brings us to the symbolism. Boruto is a modern day story. Naruto is in his early 30s like most millennials, but Boruto is in his teenage years like most of Gen Z. During the time since millennials such as myself have grown up into adulthood, adult trafficking has ballooned. In particular, child trafficking meant specifically for harvesting organs. You have entire organizations in a black market that is meant for the organs of children, for the blood of children, and Amado and Jigen and Kawaki, that story mirrors all of this. So let's dive a little deeper into this, right? So Amado is the doctor who blurs the gray moral lines to do experiments in the name of science and profit. Jigen is the rich person benefiting from these cruel acts of science done to these young children, especially when you look at Jigen's true identity. And you have Kawaki, who is the young innocent child who's had his childhood stolen as a result of this. Now, this brings us back to the Naruto manga. Kishimoto was hinting at this being the overall endgame when you look back at Orochimaru's character. Every 3 years, because of the living corpse jutsu, he needed to find a younger body to transfer his own consciousness into. All of his research, from the cursed seals that took the lives of so many children as well as so many adults, to the literal dissections of people while they were still alive, were all building towards the point of developing the living corpse jutsu when you look at everything symbolically. And this is also where the symbolism into all this comes into play. Modern day science and modern day medicine right now in the real world, we literally have companies that that are moving from experiments on animals, mostly stuff like mice and monkeys, to human experiments that are transferring the blood of young children to elderly adults. But you might be asking why. Well, this is the same as Orochimaru. In order to find a way to revitalize the body of the elderly, the idea behind all this is that between the blood transfusions and the gene therapy that's going on, you can enhance the human body via technology, and in some cases you can actually remove illnesses that are caused by old age, or you can remove genetic illnesses by rewriting the genetic code of a person. It's a form of transhumanism, but it's tweaked in a way that when you look at Jigen and Amado and Orochimaru to a lesser extent, you can kind of see where this is coming from, especially in Orochimaru's eyes, as shown in the fact that he almost always targeted the young bodies of young teenagers, like a 13-year-old Itachi, a 13-year-old Sasuke, and a 15-year-old Kimimaro. In our world, the black market for organs and transplants, the people in those worlds tend to prey on young children who are snatched away or they're outright sold, similar to how we see Delta in the last episode, literally working like a spotter to find potential candidates for Jigen, while all the other optics were in the medical tents. Delta was searching for the children who would be ripe candidates. Just as these children weren't given a choice in their live organ donation, Kawaki wasn't given a choice to undergo the transplant of the karma seal, being forced to watch child after child die as he was being subjected to those experiments. And he wasn't given a choice when his actual body that he was born with was experimented on by Amado, being pumped full of biomechanical technology that was created from his own cells, likely from having the very skin being peeled off his body to have enough for Amado to do his research. In our modern world, which is the literal inspiration that Kishimoto had for the Boruto franchise, this is known as transplant tourism. Just as Kawaki's father willingly sold him to Jigen, you have people in the poorest of countries, parents, who will sell their children off to traffickers, or they'll sell their children off for research purposes regardless of how scared their child is, because they need the money to survive. Just as we saw Kawaki's father willingly sell his terrified son to Jigen to be experimented on. Now this gets even more twisted when you look at it, okay? So Amado willingly followed Jigen's orders to harvest Kawaki's body, but it runs even deeper than that. We know for a fact, because of the last manga chapter, that there were dozens of normal people besides the car inner members who had their bodies biomechanically enhanced by Amado. We know from the anime, from the passing lines that were spoken by Delta when she was eating with Jigen, as well as from Deepa himself, that this came with some sacrifices, because both of these individuals had complained that they've lost the ability to taste food when they eat now, which is another sign of how far Amado's human experiments have crossed those moral lines that not even Orochimaru crossed. Normal humans saw their bodies being picked apart and being rebuilt with ninja tech that made them strong enough to rival some of the strongest people to exist in Naruto, including Naruto himself, something that their own bodies never underwent the years upon years of diligent hard training that was meant to prepare their bodies for that strain of power, which likely means that there are side effects that have yet to be revealed that are a byproduct for having that much power forced onto the human body when the human body itself has not prepared for that power. Now Amado goes even further into the doghouse when you look at this right here. Amado has a bigger burden to bear when you consider the translations of the manga that were done by native Japanese speakers, which differ from what Viz Media officially translated. If we look at the native speakers translation at face value, which I tend to do since Viz Media has made plenty of mistakes in the past due to how complex it is translating Japanese to English, Amado's daughter is actually Delta, which means that Amado experimented on his own daughter, likely as a byproduct of this. She doesn't recall her relationship to him, much in the same way that she lost other aspects of her humanity, i.e. her ability to taste food. But I'm not going to actually go any further on the Delta because I don't want to spoil the anime only fans, because there's a key reason for this and there's a key way that she does this. But this also makes Jigen's words about Amado's wishes not ring as hollow as a lot of people actually might have taken it at face value when Jigen said that Amado's wishes could be granted. However, I'm gonna pull back here. I started to put this in the episode review, but the episode review was already nearing about 20 minutes, and if I kept this dialogue here, it would have been something that would have bordered on the length of a manga review. What I'm gonna ask you guys to do now is to share this video with as many people as possible. Given the darker subject matter, I've got a really strong feeling that this video is gonna get screwed by the YouTube bot that places videos in the algorithm, because the last time I did this on my original channel, Kryptonian Saiyan, it mysteriously did not show up in the notifications, which I know for a fact happened because my own personal account that I use that is not connected to Kryptonian Saiyan never got the notifications for the video that I did over on that channel back in 2018. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you share, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section, because all that stuff really helps in situations like this. If we hit 1,000 likes, I'll dive deeper into another aspect of the series that has been getting brought up in the anime, which is the abuse aspect of Kawaki and the messages on the different layers of fatherhood and how these things go hand in hand. Let me know if you guys want that video down in the comment section below, but as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.